So what's going on with Cyberpunk today? Here's the headlines. Check it out. It's only getting worse for Cyberpunk. The hate reaches new heights as gamers go after Cyberpunk on Steam. You will not believe the reason. We're going to talk about that. And we've got this right here. Cyberpunk Update 1.7 internal testing intensifies. We're getting closer to hearing about a release date. And I'll explain my theory as to when Update 1.7 will likely release based on evidence from previous updates. Plus, we have California Cyberpunk Lawsuit reaches a breaking point. Were the investors properly taken care of or abandoned altogether? We're going to talk about that as well. Take a look at this as well. That's right, I'm doing a very big next-gen console giveaway. So for a chance to win a PS5, Xbox Series X, or Nintendo Switch, be sure to follow that link in the pinned comment. Good luck to everyone who enters. So yeah, it's pretty crazy what's going on with Cyberpunk right now on Steam. Check it out right here. People are now review bombing Cyberpunk because it won Labor of Love. I kid you not. This is going on right now, and we're going to get into some of these Steam reviews here in just a moment to see if there's any legitimacy behind some of the most negative reviews recently, or if it's really just a lot of spam. I can't wait for you guys to see this. But anyway, you know, CD Projekt Red, they're extremely thankful. They posted this thank you note out on Steam. They're thankful to the Cyberpunk community for sticking with them, for voting for them with this Steam award, and I think it's deserved. I also think these other games do deserve the awards, especially No Man's Sky. Don't get me wrong. No Man's Sky did, I think, a lot more than Cyberpunk over the years, considering all those updates have been free. But I'm excited for the future for Cyberpunk. I just want it to be that extended future, you know, into 2024, 2025. But anyway, let's get into the Steam reviews right here. So check it out. Here's a negative review. It says, not recommended. Runs like absolute crap, even in 2023 with a 3090 and i9 11K. If you want to play a game with max 60 frames per second, try it out. And this is kind of a common theme with some of these reviews, by the way. No mention of the Labor of Love award. But I'm curious, are you guys having trouble running Cyberpunk on your PCs? Sound off. Now we have this one right here. This one comes from Fox McCloud, who says, not recommended. The game when launched was unacceptable. Today, 2+ years later, the game is okay at best. Still very poorly optimized, very buggy, and below average. The community voted this Labor of Love, which is a bit funny since the game is still very way below average. But the people supporting this are a cult. The game isn't good. It's below average. It's unfixed. It's mediocre on a good day. Wow. So apparently you are all a cult. But again, you know, there is a complaint once again appearing, a theme here that it's under-optimized or not properly optimized, especially on the PC side of things. I'm trying to like jump over this. You can't do wheelies still. That's inexcusable. But anyway, that's one thing that I do want to see is some wheelies. But anyway, let's continue onward. CC Matt says this, not recommended. All you have to do is release an anime and people will pretend that everything that was wrong and is still wrong with the game doesn't exist. I don't think that's exactly true. We do know that Update 1.7 is coming and it includes features that I have said time and time again that are going to be awesome, but should have been in the game originally, like working police. Come on now, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's not in the game already. So for me to overhype Update 1.7, I'll just never do it, despite the fact that I can't wait for the features to finally be in the game. Then we have Commander Shepard, who says this, not recommended. The game is okay, but no Labor of Love. CD Projekt Red collected tons of money, delayed the release several times for years, only to release a product that you would expect from Bethesda. Whoa, shots fired in the direction of Bethesda. A zoo would envy this game for all of its bugs, and do the devs really fix it like you would do with the Labor of Love? Hell no, it's left for modders to fix it. I get the concern there, throwing everything to modders, which I do agree that's kind of what CD Projekt Red will be doing after Phantom Liberty, after the Definitive Edition, after Update 1.7. They've given every indication that, hey, they're going to be done wiping their hands clean of Cyberpunk 2077, which I think is inexcusable. I want to see permanent support for this game. So yeah, sound off. if you think this game did deserve the labor of love, I just don't agree with these other communities coming out and going to the actual Steam page and trying to hurt the game's reception. I just think that's uncool and unfair for sure. All right, so we also have this meme, which I think is pretty fitting for the situation. It says, not perfect, but pretty decent. It says, wait, Cyberpunk is actually a decent game? Always has been. And that statement, I would actually personally disagree with that one, because I remember when this game launched, I kind of was like giving up on it. Playing the story was extremely rough for me personally. So I'm so glad that they were, well, fairly kind of quick to iron out the most important bugs, so at least I can try to enjoy the main storyline. But yeah, I don't think it was always like acceptable to state that it was in from the get-go. Now, you guys are probably wondering, hey, Robbie, how is the game actually performing outside of Edge Runner's release? You know, that did have a huge impact. Did it drop down to like the 5K players that it used to be that were playing the game or something like that? Check it out right here. So there's 28,000 players on right now with a peak of nearly 40,000. It says 38,000 right there. But this is really, really good considering all things that have happened. If we go to like the master list of games that are being played right now on Steam and how they're all performing, we can see that Cyberpunk is right near a big game, of course, the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition, which I think that is an accomplishment. I really, really do. It shows that this game has a community that is really willing to stick with it. And honestly, I'm really kind of excited to see what happens with the modding community, of course. Now, when it comes to update 1.7, yes, the updates, the internal updates, I guess you would say, are intensifying big time. Check it out right here. We have yet another internal update right here. I'm going to zoom this in for you all. As you can see, that was updated yesterday. And they're doing testing for update 1.7. And I think we're getting very, very close to hearing something about a release date for update 1.7. They may just drop it on us perhaps in February. Why do I think February? Well, you got to remember update 1.6 was released in, of course, September. So we're nearing the 6-month mark. And that is usually when they drop these big free updates for Cyberpunk 2077 every 6 months now. So I'm assuming they're going to drop update 1.7 ahead of Phantom Liberty, get that foundation in the game, and then kind of, you know, build upon that with the expansion and make sure everything's ready to go and fleshed out before they release that expansion. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully that pans out to be true. Of course, I am speculating again on the release date for update 1.7, so please remember that. But February does seem pretty realistic at this point. Now, what's going on with the Cyberpunk California Lawsuit? Check it out right here. Investor settles Cyberpunk lawsuit with the developers for $1.85 million. CD Projekt Red shareholders will split a fraction of what they claimed to lose. So honestly, they didn't really come out winning with this one, in my opinion. So the article goes on to say this: a federal judge in California's Central District signed off on a $1.85 million settlement between CD Projekt Red and a class action suit led by plaintiff and headed by 2 law firms. Now, everybody who acquired publicly traded CD Projekt Red securities throughout most of 2020 is eligible for settlement funds, roughly 49 cents per eligible share. A consultant for the plaintiffs had previously estimated the maximum potential damages at a whopping $11 million. Woo! So yeah, that's rough. Now, also we have this one right here. It says the original complaint filed in December 2020 alleged that the Polish developer misled investors and customers about Cyberpunk's readiness on the then current generation consoles. Of course, PS4 and Xbox One. CD Projekt Red made materially false and misleading statements during the year leading up to the release. The complaint alleged because the company should have known the game was virtually unplayable on the current generation Xbox or PlayStation system due to an enormous amount of bugs. And what gets me is I believe that PlayStation 4 trailer is still up to this day for Cyberpunk, showcasing PlayStation 5 footage, or really, really good footage that clearly is not running on a PlayStation 4. Now, it says the bugs were not widely known because CD Projekt Red only provided PC copies of the game to reviewers before its release. CD Projekt Red later apologized for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, thus preventing buyers from making a more informed decision about your purchase. Days earlier, CD Projekt Red had tweeted thanks to 8 million people who had pre-ordered the game. And, no longer are they going to be doing that practice. They can't. They're going to continue getting sued if they continue doing that. So apparently, in the future, CD Projekt Red will be showcasing their games on all available platforms. They have to be more transparent, and they're not going to be marketing games 10 years ahead with fancy smancy trailers. They should not be doing that. So I guess, in a way, they're taking a cue from like EA. EA is doing a similar practice, but still, they got a slap on the wrist with this one. And, since then, what has Cyberpunk done? It's gone on from 8 million copies sold to a whopping 20 million copies sold. This is a great title here. Forgive, don't forget. And I think that's important to not forget what has happened here, because we can't let this mistake be repeated. And one way we do that is how? We don't pre-order. That's what I have to say. So just a warning, if you want this to keep happening, then keep pre-ordering. But again, I want to remind you to check this out right here. And remember, I'm doing a big next-gen console giveaway, so for a chance to enter this giveaway to win a PS5, Xbox Series X, or Nintendo Switch, be sure to follow that link in the pinned comment. Good luck. All right, so now it's time to go over your top comments. Remember to leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video. So let's get into your comments on my favorite parts of the video, reading what you guys have to say. So this was my most recent video. It says, Cyberpunk finally did it, but fans are furious. New third-person Cyberpunk game. Yeah, Vigilancer 2099 is looking really, really cool. I cannot wait to see more footage of that one. But let's get into see what you guys had to say about what was going on with the Labor of Love reward from Steam. And we have this from Fel Omen, who says a mega building expansion would be great. The entire expansion done on the inside of a fully fleshed out mega building would be fun. Dear God, that would be absolutely amazing, and something I would think that would be manageable to create, I would believe, right? But yeah, it looks like Vigilancer 2099, this game is going to aim to provide us with this experience, an open world experience inside of a mega building. Now we have Team November, who says this right here. Gotta hand it to No Man's Sky, smaller team, working post-launch for a longer period of time, resulting in more features and updates, especially ones that fans actually ask for. Yeah, I was going through that whole list with you all, and I was honestly blown away, which is making me think, man, Robbie, you need to get into some No Man's Sky. I might actually revisit that game here soon and maybe make a video or something about it, but I'd love to try that. But then we have Sean, who says this. I really think that the Shepard versus V debate all depends on how you build them respectively. Now, when it comes down to the award, I believe No Man's Sky has earned that award 100-fold at this point. And though Cyberpunk has really turned around, it's not even close to the Cinderella story that is No Man's Sky. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. Remember, all that stuff is free. It blows my mind how they managed to pull off all those updates for free. I don't understand how exactly they're doing that. I would love for them to be featured in a new interview talking about their progress with No Man's Sky, but it shows that they are truly, truly passionate about what they're working on, and they never really intended to ruffle the feathers of the gaming community, I guess you would say. All right, so there it is, the latest happenings around Cyberpunk. And yes, we're going to get into some more open world games very soon. I hope to cover things like Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know if you guys are interested in that. Starfield, of course. Starfield being the big one for me personally. I cannot wait. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.